everyone, this is Eric Whiting from Metal Master Kingdom. I'm here with Doro Pesch. So anyways, Doro, how was your North American tour this year? I just saw you in Columbus back in February. Could you tell us a little bit about your tour?
Oh, I'd love to, man. I think it was amazing, and we had great shows. It was so awesome to do a whole full tour again, and yeah, we played sometimes 2.5 hours, and we did sometimes up to 8 encores. It was depending on the curfew, on the venue, but it was great, and it was great to talk to the fans. Usually after our show, we always, we're hanging out, talking, and, signing autographs, and, doing some little, socializing, and, because the weather was so cold, I got a real bad cold, and I still have to deal with it. It's still not gone, but it was, other than that, everything was absolutely great, and I think one of the best touring experiences we've ever had in the States, and I think all the band members that feel the same. It was great.
Well, that's good. Yeah, I'm glad you're feeling better now. I remember when I saw you in Columbus was when you said you had a cold, but you still sounded great that night. I couldn't tell till you told us.
That's good. Yeah, before and after the show, I'm always kind of licking my wounds, but when I'm on stage, when I see the fans, then nothing matters. Even a bad cold or when you're in pain, I don't feel the thing. I just, feel like excitement, and I guess when the adrenaline kicks in, and that's good. But before and afterwards, oh God, it's a different story. And, that was, I remember, and in Columbus, I think it started, and but luckily I wasn't alone. The whole tour bus got sick, because when you're on the bus with 20 people, and everybody gets catches something, so at least you're not alone suffering. So
I actually wanted to ask you a little bit about when you got started. What really sparked your interest in heavy metal?
Yeah, actually, I think when I was 3 years old, I fell in love with music, and back then there was no heavy metal, nothing, but I loved it always, high energy. I loved the pure, like the real thing. And my first time that I really remember that I was so excited about something, it was actually, when I was 3 years old, it was a song by Little Richard. It was called Lucille. And from that day on, I wanted to become a singer. And I always loved to sing music and singing. It was, even when I was a very small kid, I knew that was kind of what I wanted to do. Yeah, and then I had my first band when I was 15. And actually, it was the beginning of the heavy metal times. But way back then, there weren't any magazines, nothing. You couldn't hear it on radio or TV. And it was definitely the start of a great thing. And then we had concerts. And actually, we were rehearsing every day. And then some fans, they came into our rehearsal room, and they were asking, hey, are you guys a metal band? And we thought, wow, man, that sounds cool. And we really didn't even know. And then a couple of months later, we saw our first concert. It was Whitesnake, and then the second one was Judas Priest, and Exact. The third one was Dio, and then we thought, wow, man, that's awesome. And then actually was the beginning of this huge heavy metal scene. I know in some countries like England, it was already going strong, but in Germany back then, it was pretty new. And then we got our first record deal, and then we recorded our first record with Warlock in 1983. It was Burning the Witches, and it was actually almost like an overnight success. We didn't expect anything, and then it was really, worldwide. It got a lot of attention. And then we did some gigs and club tours, and then actually we got the big tour. It was actually the Judas Priest tour. And that was the day when I quit my job, and then and from there on I thought, I want to do it till I die for the rest of my life, and as long as fans want. And it was pretty cool to see the beginning of the heavy metal times, and then when I wasn't doing so well in the 90s. It was really rough. But then when I said, wow, it's coming back, actually 1999, I said it was coming back strong. And then we went on tour with Ronnie James Dio in the States. It was one of my favorite tours with the with the band, with our hero. And I'm definitely a happy baby. I love music and the fans more than anything else in this world.
Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. Actually, that answers a couple of my other questions. I was going to ask you how grunge affected your career. I know you talked about that a little bit.
Oh man, it was bad for all the heavy metal bands, for the fans. God, our heads were hanging low for many years, and it was so shocking because you would never, expect that metal is going, not as strong anymore in the 80s. And it was really, really hardcore. But I think now we will never ever let it go. That's, very easy again. It was, I feel even all the musicians, all the bands, there's so much more support. Like we support each other. There's a love, friendship, like a strong bond, and more so than in the 80s.
Well, that's good, yeah, and I see heavy metal is obviously very popular again and has a lot of support through the internet and stuff now. That's how I learned a lot, because I'm only 23, so I learned a lot of, I learned about you and a lot of other metal bands through various websites, and I'm real thankful for that. I wanted to ask, how do you maintain fitness while you're on tour? Because, you're obviously in very good shape, and I just want to know how you do that while you're on tour so much.
That's actually the secret, like touring non-stop, always being on the road, and doing the show is definitely the best workout, and it's like, you always on the end of the tour, and I think, man, the body's in the best shape ever, like all the muscles are nice and toned, and then when you go into the studio again, and then it's a different story when you don't do it for a couple of months. But when I prepare for a tour, like for example, after a long studio thing, then I always, do jogging, running, I do a little bit Thai boxing, and and whatever is fun, and doing some weights, and and I live pretty healthy. I don't drink, I stopped smoking, even though I love to smoke, but I don't smoke cigarettes anymore, so it definitely helps, like but and being happy, like to do what you love, that makes you feel great. So no matter what, and when I see the fans, then I can always I can sing, I think 10 times better than I could, like when I'm alone or in the studio with just the engineer, and when I'm on stage, and somehow I have so much more energy than the rest of the day is pretty normal, but on stage it's like, it's wild, and the guys in the band, they always inspire me too. Our bass player Nick, he's in our band now for 23 years, and he always moves like an animal. He's great. And Bas Maas, our guitar player, he's actually from the Netherlands. Wow, he's doing a lot of jumps and running around, and then I think, wow, if the guys can do it, I definitely I have to do it, and and when you're having fun, then then it's that's the best. But I would say headbanging and doing a show, that's the best workout ever.
Yeah, definitely. Because like I said, I always can tell when I've been to a concert, because I always headbang real hard, and I can tell the next day, or usually I throw out my voice from yelling so loud. But here, let me. I actually wanted to ask you, I know you had a role in a Swiss movie called, I'm probably going to butcher this title, I know it was called like Inuk der Weg des Kriegers, a Swiss movie.
That's like the English version is called Inuk, the Path of the Warrior, and I just did the second part, and I don't know if it's like Inuk, the Path of the Warrior 2, or if it has another title, but that was the second second time I did a movie, and oh man, it was a lot of fun. And I felt like in survival training, survival camp. It was so hard. It was really, it was hardcore. And we did a lot of stuff in the water, and it was so ice cold. It was actually up in the mountains in Switzerland, and they have these beautiful lakes, which actually looks beautiful, but it's so ice cold. And most of the day we were actually underwater, in the water, and then I thought, oh God, the American tour is coming up soon. I definitely have to, see that I don't get totally sick before the tour starts. But everything went well, and now we are in the middle of doing some more music for the movie. And the guy who's doing it, he's a pretty cool guy. He's pretty, wild and a little bit crazy, but great. His name is Luke Gasser, and it will probably, will be in the movie theaters in 2014. It will probably take a couple of more months to do it, and but it's, I think it came out great. It's like an adventure movie, action movie, and with a little spiritual flavor.
Well, that's cool, yeah, because I actually wanted to ask if you have any interest in pursuing other film roles along the lines of that, or, cameos in movies or anything like that after having done these two.
Yeah, actually, I love, the independent movie makers and, people with great ideas, and I had a great experience. Even these two movies, it was not a huge budget, but a lot of heart and soul, and all the people who were involved, they were so passionate about it, and it was really a major turn on. And so, I would love to do some more stuff, and but of course, it will never, it will never even come close to the music, but something on the side. It's very inspiring and a lot of fun, and yes, I'd love to do it. Or if somebody like Quentin Tarantino has a great idea and has a little part for me, I would do it. But usually, the people with low budgets and the independent movie makers, it's the people who are a little bit out there, the underdogs. I love them the most.
I know Gene Simmons produced one of your albums in 1990. How was it working with Gene Simmons? Did you get to meet him much?
Yes, actually he was really, really, he was such a great producer, such a great person, and, me being a big Kiss fan, for me it was a dream coming true, and he was very caring, very intelligent, and he was all the time there in the studio making sure everything is going well. And Tommy Sear, the guitar player who's now in Kiss, he was actually the co-producer, and he played lots of the solos and the guitar stuff on the record, and it was awesome. And I will never ever forget it. It was so wow. It was actually a little bit overwhelming because when I was growing up, I was a big Kiss fan, and then, and then seeing Gene in person every night, I went to the studio, I was driving my car, and then I thought, oh my God, and then, the closer I got to the studio, the more nervous I got. I thought, oh God, Gene is there, and I think all the musicians kind of felt the same. It was like, wow, it was a big deal, and, but he was very, very nice, and, super smart, super intelligent, and very caring, and I learned a lot too. And he said, I don't want you to only make nice record, I want you to learn certain things. And I thought, wow, that even somebody, thinks about that or takes the time, and he showed me a lot of things, and it was great. And then one time I remember I wrote a blues, and he said, well, do you know about the blues? And I said, oh no, I'm a metalhead, I don't know much about the blues, just like, normal things. He said, we will change it. And then next day he said, meet me here, we go to a little club, and there's a blues legend, and it was actually Dr. John. And then Gene and me, we went downstairs, it was a little tiny club, and we saw like a real legend, and I thought, wow, man, it was really cool. Gene was very, very, very caring and unforgettable.
What topics provide the most inspiration for your songwriting?
always get inspired by other people, by the fans, by stuff. You know, like usually it's I always want to give out positive energy, and I feel, you know, it's very hard for everybody. It's a very hard life, and then sometimes, you know, I feel I want to write about that. It's nice to write about rock and roll, and you know, and like a cool rock song. Sometimes, you know, it's like, you know, really important too. But yeah, but sometimes I like really, yeah, heartfelt, sometimes very, you know, deep things, and to give something really good and positive. And on this new record, the Raise Your Fist record, there are a couple of songs which are very important to me, and it was because of experiences, because of other people. And one song is called Human Rights. There's actually two versions. The German one is called Freiheit, Human Rights, which means freedom, liberty, human rights, and the English version is called Sealed in Blood, Human Rights. And it's actually a song for human rights, and I dedicated it to a human rights organization. They call it Care Femme. And it was very important to me to sing a song about that. And then the other very important song to me was the song for Ronnie James Dio. It's called Hero, and it's to give respect and, you know, and love and honor and thanks to Ronnie, and, you know, the singer and the person we all loved. And I had so many great experiences with Ronnie. I had a great chance to tour together several times, and, you know, we got to talk. He was a great guy. So Hero was actually the first song I wanted to write about. And when I heard that Ronnie is hopefully in heaven now, and then I immediately I was laying down, falling asleep, and then this melody, the lyrics, everything came out, and I wanted to make sure that it's all really, really, you know, that the verses, everything is really good. And then I called another friend of mine, and his name was Joey Bannon, and we did actually the Triumph and Agony album together in Force Majeure record. And I said, Joey, I have a very important song, and, you know, every song, every word has to be, you know, we have to nail it. And he said, what is it about? And I said, it's about Ronnie. And he said, let's definitely finish it together. So I guess, you know, what people experience, and, you know, everything and anything is actually inspiration. And sometimes I write stuff with my band, and and sometimes the ballads are usually very dark and like dark, romantic, very sensitive, sometimes sad, but even that I think is positive, because people can relate. And, you know, many people say, man, I know, you know, how it feels. I live through the same stuff and the same experiences. And,
Well, that's cool. Yeah, I really liked that song you did about Ronnie James Dio, because I've been a fan for a long time, but unfortunately I never got to see him live, and that's one of my big regrets as far as concerts go. So yeah, it was really nice to see you play that live in Columbus last month.
Good. Yeah, live, actually, when I played it live, I saw many fans that were like, you know, tears were like, you know, like rolling down their cheeks, and then sometimes I had to turn around because it like, wow, it was so touching and so emotional, and but to keep his legacy alive, and, you know, and even for very young fans, sometimes we have some metal fans, they're like 12, 13, 14, and they've never seen Ronnie live, so I love to talk about him or sing about him, and and he was definitely my big inspiration, and I know millions of fans feel the same in the world.
Yeah, thank you for talking with us today. I really liked it was a really nice opportunity to talk with you. I wanted to ask, do you have any final words for Metal Master Kingdom?
Yes, all the Metal Master Kingdom fans, thank you so much for all the support in all these years, and it was a great tour. Everybody who came to the tour, thank you guys for coming and for making this tour so great. And like I said in the beginning of the interview, really the fans mean the world to me. That will never ever change, and I will do it till the day I die, and I love them more than anything, and I wish everybody the best. Rock on, guys, and I hope I see you really soon. Hope to see you on the next tour, and yeah, and all the best, and